Hello, welcome to this Dawn Busters challenge. We have from 1957 Highland Mist, imported Highland Mist, pale dry, age 3 years. They use Scotch whiskies from the four regions: Highland, Islay, Speyside, and it's $6.49 for this bottle at international market. You say $6.49, golly. Now this one was also bought at international market. I bought this at international market, but it was like $15.65. All right, so wait a minute. This was an old Diageo bottle. You say that looks like Fever. Yeah, you see this on a lot of Diageo bottles. I think you're going to see Scoresby in the next few years coming out in the Sazerac bottles like this, because Sazerac bought Scoresby from Diageo in 2018, and Diageo acquired it from Seagram's, who started it. Diageo acquired it from Seagram's when Seagram's collapsed in the year 2000, and they went out of business. So it's had three owners. Seagram's was kind of like one of their inexpensive Scotch brands, and then Diageo, and now Sazerac. The connoisseur Scotch whiskey. Oh, yeah. There's a crown, the Kingdom of Scotland. There's a deer for some reason. Sunlight shining on, look like a spaceship. That's what it looks like. And then look like a maple leaf for Canada for some reason. Very rare Scotch. So rare you can buy it at you can buy it at Walmart. They got the big handle bottles, the jug bottles, plastic, of course, for $24.95. It's gone down. The price has dropped. It used to be about $32, so $24.95. This delightful blend of selected rare light-bodied whiskeys, and then they go on how wonderful it is. They're both aged 3 years. Yeah, it's so rare you can get it at Walmart. Right. I have about 45% of the bottle left. Here I have about 40% left. So I've been blowing through the Highland Mist. Have I enjoyed it? Not particularly. It's okay. You know, I wouldn't go looking for it. If you see a bottle for $6.49, you're not going to lose anything. There's no downside to it, because I'm telling you, it's not a terrible product. You might think it's terrible. I don't think it is. It's just marginally good. Say like a B minus, really. And I think that's what I scored on the solo in 80. But it's a serviceable product. You know, everybody's buying it to make mixed drinks. Ain't nobody buying this to sit here like I'm doing and swish it around, nose it, and talk about, oh, the intricate qualities of the Highland Mist. Yeah. It tastes like cereal grain, like Kix cereal, which is like corn flour made into little balls. And this is corn meal, corn flour, corn grits. I don't know, whatever corn. Could be corn syrup. I don't know. They use corn, a corn product. They column still it. It's distilled. Column still distilled. Column still distilled. They make a base whiskey, grain whiskey. Then they blend it with about 20% single malts from Speyside, Islay, the Highlands, the Lowlands, and then they make Highland Mist. Now, is that expensive single malts? Hey, man, you know it's cheap because it's $6.49 a bottle. Now, John and Ilya said the Scoresby is about $8.99 in Georgia. So it's almost twice the amount in Louisiana. And I don't know why. But I guess in Louisiana, the audience, the consumers, view it as a mid-range product. Higher than the cheapos, lower than the premiums like Johnny Walker, Chivas Regal, and all of that. So I don't know why that is. Now I noticed one thing: they're not the same. Well, the Scoresby we're getting is still coming from Diageo. There's a production agreement with between Sazerac and Diageo. They said they were going to produce some of the products for another 6 years, and then some of them are for 10 years. And then it'll be slowly turned over to let Sazerac procure it and produce it. Why do they have those agreements? Well, of course, when they bought it from those 18 brands from Diageo last year, and then they bought 18 from another company. Diageo already had a lot of that aging in barrels or being produced at the time, being distilled at the time of the purchase. So if it's a 6-year age and they just started aging it, all right, if it's 10-year age or whatever the case, you see it's gotta be drawn out. But it is a Sazerac brand. They were listing it on their website, and then their website went virtually defunct, and they told me, oh, they're redoing it. Well, how long does that take? A decade? So the Scoresby much lighter. It's straw, like a Cuddy Sark. Straw with that little greenish tint. And then the Highland Mist is just gold. If you buy corn syrup, it's clear, right? Right, clear. These scotches are being aged in used barrels, and I've heard that these barrels could be like 100 years old. They're not going to have any char character, okay? They're just using the wood in barrels because it has to be oak. That's the law of Scotland, so it has to be aged at least 3 years. So it has to be oak barrels aged 3 years. Beyond that, okay, so they just buy them from bourbon companies, or if it's a big company like Diageo or Sazerac, they probably own bourbon companies. Like Sazerac owns Buffalo Trace, for instance. So they just ship them over there, ship them to Canada, ship them to Ireland, and they age them. So you want a lot of char, go drink bourbon, which I'm about to start doing tomorrow. Bourbon starts next week. Bourbon taste challenges. Yes, Scotch is going to rest for a little while. I did a solo review of Bellows Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Yep. Bottled in Missouri. Plan to post it tomorrow and then swing into some taste challenges. And then we'll go back to American blended whiskey, and you're probably thinking, oh boy, yay. Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. And then it goes round and round, and where it stops, well, it doesn't stop. Then Canadian blended, and then back to Scotch. Okay. Got to keep my eyes closed because the color is pretty divergent. You get the pale straw and the gold. Oh, what I was saying is they add color into Scotch. They can add caramel color. So is it really as golden as it looks, or as straw as it looks? It might be almost clear, like vodka, if they shipped it over here without the coloring added. And then people would be like, ugh, what's wrong with this whiskey? So they color it. Canadian whiskey, same thing. Add coloring. American blended whiskey, same thing. They add coloring. American, what about blended bourbon? You say blended bourbon, right? Like 10 High, they have blended bourbon. It's a class of bourbon. Coloring added, and so on. What the U.S. government calls harmless coloring and flavorings. Is it allowed to be added to bourbon? Nope. Only blended bourbon. If it's bourbon, just bourbon. That's a class. It's called bourbon. Or straight bourbon, or a blend of straight bourbons. And it goes on. No, can't have coloring added. This smells like a lot of grain, but with a little bit of malt, a little bit of dough, bread dough. Clear out my nose. This smells like that too, but even more dough, even more peaty dough. Ah, this must be Scoresby. I had trouble spelling Scoresby for a while. Like, then I realized you just put the word score, like you scored a touchdown, score, but scores, plural, like scores, many scores were made in the game. Scoresby, B-Y, by, scores by, Scoresby. Okay. Yeah. sweet grain, like sweet corn. Like if you go to the store and you buy the whole kernel sweet corn in a can and think about the taste of that minus the salt. You know, they add a lot of salt to preserve it, various forms of salt. Tastes like that. All right. The Scoresby, I know this is Scoresby. I'm going to call it now. This is Scoresby. Ain't no way this is that and that's it. I ain't going to get confused. Not going to do it. Not gonna die. Not gonna die. Not gonna die. This has a lot of peaty doughiness, and a relatively, compared that, a relatively high amount of smokiness. You say relative, yeah, to Highland Mist, which has none. None. Now, if you compare the Scoresby to the 100 Pipers, then Scoresby has a low smoke profile. You know, the 100 Piper is almost like smoked pork. It's so strong in the smoke, which would appeal to some people like myself and would repel other people who do not like that smokiness. But I like it. This one has that. So this one has that going for it. Has the smokiness. It has the bready dough from the single malts. Do they use a higher percentage of single malt whiskeys? Probably they do. I'm thinking maybe it's a 25-75 blend. 25% straight malt whiskey, single malt whiskey, excuse me, and about 75% column still grain whiskey. And then the Highland Mist is probably 80-20, you know, 20-80. 80-20. 80% column still grain whiskey, just odorless, tasteless, bulk, and then about 20% single malt, which gives it some character, not much character. Yeah, definite smoke, definite peat. You can just almost imagine that the grains being roasted over the peat fire. Yes, that's how distinct it is. It does have a pretty clever Scotch appeal. So could you ever get Scoresby confused with Highland Mist? No, unless you never tasted them before. The Scoresby tastes a lot better. Yeah. Is it worth the extra $10? Yeah. Or $9, extra $9 in Louisiana. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. 24. Whoops. We're on 24. 99 divided by 1,750 times 750. 1071. That would be the 750. Convert it to 750. I've never seen a for that cheap though. But let's just convert it per ounce, per milliliter. Is this worth 1071 compared to 649? Oh, very much so. You get what you pay for oftentimes, not all the time. That's a blanket statement, but it's not always applicable, because if you buy Scores, you get what you pay for. If you buy 100 Pipers for $8.99, you get way more than what you paid for. I can go to the international market and get a bottle of 100 Pipers for $8.99. It's way better than you would expect, than it should be. I can pay $34 for Chivas Regal, and I found nothing. That was like the biggest flop ever with these purchases, as far as I'm concerned. It tastes like grain alcohol. I mean, Chivas Regal wasn't really any better than the Highland Mist. And I was embarrassed to say that, but that's what I found. Now, I scored it a 90 initially, but if you look at my face, it betrays things. I was looking like, I don't know about this. But I'm thinking, you know, like maybe I'm crazy, you know. This is Chivas Regal, the famous Chivas Regal, which has been changed and watered down from the glory days of the early 60s and early 70s. But you could pay $35 for your Buchanan's. Oh, you know, I was telling you they had those Buchanan's 12-year age, the Buchanan's Deluxe gift packs at Walmart for $31.99. I went over there Thursday, gone. All of them gone. I said, boy, people cleared this out. Something like that, it's not going to last. You're going to pay $36 for a single bottle of Buchanan's, and you add 2 beautiful glasses to a gift pack. Come on, that's gone. If you don't buy it when you see it, it's gone. I've been through this. You say, oh, I'll get it later. I'm a little short on money. You ain't getting it later. Come back the next day, it's gone. Now, they got the Bacardi. I don't know why my eyes are closed now, because there's no purpose to it. I know which is which. I'm going to call it Highland Mist. Here, it better say HM. I know it will. HM. So, ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Am I an expert? No. But is it that hard to tell these two apart? It's not hard at all. It takes no effort. The aroma's a little tricky. The taste, home run. Never fail. 100 out of 100 opportunities. You never get it wrong. Never on your worst day would you get it wrong. You know the Bacardi gift pack I bought last year, where you had the Gran Reserva Diaz and the Reserva Ocho, the 10-year age and the 8-year age. It was $70 last year, and that beautiful wooden, it's a wooden case with a glass front. It's not plastic, it's glass, and it's a humidor. It actually works. You can put the water in. I didn't need that on aged cigars, or put them in a humidor. So I just tore that part out. I use it like a little cabinet with the clips on it, beautiful case. It was $70 last year. This year it's $65.99 over there at Walmart. But last year after Christmas, remember? They had it on closeout, because you know how Walmart is. They just get rid of everything, and they'll just discount it, basically just give it away. I want it. $35. $35 for that gift pack. My daddy told me on the phone, oh, I'm sorry, I'm from the South. I know you are up north. You say, you mean your father? Yeah, my father told me, you ought to go buy that because that's a great deal. He doesn't even drink. So I went back and they had a couple left. I couldn't help it. I had to buy it. If you buy the Reserva Ocho alone, it's $29. Alone. You don't even ask about the Gran Reserva Diaz, 10-year age. Oh, what a deal. Can you get great deals at Walmart? Yes. Are they better than most places you'll ever go to? Yes. Do you have to hit it at the right time? Yes. It's all yes. You got to hit it at the right time. This is the time of the year, November, December, when all the gift packs be on the shelves. They always have glasses with them, Not that I need any more glassware, but they'd be way cheap. Way cheaper than normal. Like they got Crown Royal right now, $23.95. You get the Crown Royal and the glasses. And you can either get the regular Crown Royal and the glasses, because people get that for Christmas, And then, or you can get this New Orleans Saints edition. It's Crown Royal. It's got the black and gold. It's not pulling gold and red. It's black and gold. And it's got the Fleur de Lis New Orleans Saints official Canadian blended whiskey of the New Orleans Saints. That kind of thing. Which I wouldn't care a thing about, but because I don't keep liquor bottles. It's too many things. They're too big. So this is the time. This is the time. Do I have to ever go anywhere else besides Walmart to do endless liquor reviews and videos? No, no, no. You could never run out of opportunities. Just going to right there. That's not even a mile from my house. It's like 3/4 of a mile. I mean, I could walk there so fast. So I could just slowly go to their liquor section, never run out. That could not happen. They got brandy. I never even heard of some of these brandies and cognacs, like Languedoc or whatever. It can't be Languedoc, though. That's a different region of France. It's something. I don't know, some name like that. It's like $26. I said, well, that might be a good cognac, And I mean, they don't have everything, but they got so much. All these different George Dickel, all of these different what's the one they have so many variants of? Well, Jim Beam and But there's one, they just got, so I said, I've never seen so many variants of this stuff. It's not the Dickel. And they got Old Charter. It's, I don't know how, heck, it doesn't matter. But they got so many, I was like, how could I try all the, Old Forester. It's like they got every variant of Old Forester you ever dreamed of. I was like, oh, all these variants. And that goes on with vodka. 20 different types, maybe more. Gin goes on and on. Rum, on and on. Don't even ask about the liqueurs and the cordials. That is incredible. You say, well, I didn't know Walmart sold alcohol. In many states, they don't. Or I guess most states. But here, they do. Here, they do. In this parish, and in Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, right off the shelf. Like, it used to be a separate little liquor area it went into, but they kind of got rid of that and they remodeled the store. They got cameras everywhere. They're watching you. So Walmart's ruthless about shoplifting. They're not like other stores like, oh, well, don't do it anymore now. They're going to court. They don't drop charges. They got their own security service, their own detectives. I don't know what else they'll do. They're ruthless, but they need to be ruthless. I have a ruthless attitude toward criminals too, so I share Walmart's fanaticism. But anyway, so you can just go down the aisle, like in the cereal aisle, buy a box of cereal, or you can buy a bottle of Scotch. And their Scotch selection is crazy. Irish whiskey, it's like crazy diverse. Now they do have a cabinet where it's locked. Some stuff is locked because it's too tempting, you know, because there's certain brands people just be wanting to steal, but they got it locked, you dig. Okay, but anyway, enough ranting and raving about Walmart's exquisite selection around her. And their beer selection ain't too bad either, and their wine selection ain't too bad either, and their prices ain't too bad either. And I go there at 6:30 in the morning because it's quiet over there at 6:30 in the morning. You don't want to go there at 2:30 in the afternoon. All right, so Highland Mist, it's serviceable. I'm not going to be on here talking about how horrible it is. It's not. $6.49 a bottle. Yeah, it's A-okay, baby. Scoresby, it's way better. All that dope. That smokiness. Oh, man. Somebody lit a fire? I mean, it's not like they're talking about very rare, the connoisseurs, Scotch and all that. You know, that's... You can buy a Wild Irish Rose. They talk about how gourmet it is. Even Night Train. Night Train is a delicate citrus wine made for America's most preeminent hobos. You know, and you're like, I never even had the guts to buy that stuff. Okay, thanks for watching this video production. Scoresby is the clear and unadulterated winner here. There's no qualifying statements. I can't say Scoresby is the winner, but yet you have to take into consideration. None of that. It's just a clear-cut winner, and that's that. And that's all I got to say about it. All right, thanks for watching this video production. And tomorrow morning, we starting bourbon. It's bourbon time over here.